I bought 4 different lobsters that all weighed different amounts and honestly cost different prices too, and I'm curious which one was the best buy. Now I weighed each and every lobster I got just to see what the pre-weight was, and then I started getting them ready to cook. Now I think lobsters are one of the coolest crustaceans just because they have a second set of pinchers, and check out this super cool tail too. And a lot of people don't know you can actually get meat from this part of the lobster as well. Now, this is a smaller lobster and its claw was pretty tiny, but one of the biggest ones I had, which came in at about 2.5 pounds, actually had some huge claws for its size. Now, one of the big debates on the internet right now is how do you humanely cook lobsters, crabs, or any crustacean really? And there's 2 schools of thought. And the first one is you're going to go ahead and put a knife right there, right in that part of the lobster. And when you shove it down in there and move it forward, you're going to instantly kill the lobster. While I've used this method in the past, like this video here, I've decided in this cook, I actually put them in the freezer for a good amount of time until they were in a dormant state, and then I cooked them. Now to know if they're done, if you can pull an antenna off like that, then they're fully cooked. When I'm picking lobsters, what I like to do is remove the tail and the claws right away. And if you're a pro lobster picker, you probably know that on bigger lobsters, you can actually pick out the body. Now, this lobster I'm picking right now is one of the smaller lobsters. So I'm not going to pick out the body for this video because be honest with yourselves, a lot of you don't pick out the body either. So let's just focus on how much meat we're going to get from the claw and the tail of this lobster. Now, like I said, this is one of the smaller ones, and it weighed 1.3 pounds and it costs $16.95 per pound. And if you're not familiar with lobster prices, normally they price them that the smaller lobsters are the cheapest. So if they're under a pound and a half, normally they're the least expensive. And then you go up to 1.5 to 2 pounds, and that's going to be the next price point. And the ones that are the most expensive are the ones that are over 2 pounds. So I'm curious to see if ones that are over 2 pounds, which cost more, have a better meat to shell ratio and if they taste better as well. After getting the smallest lobster all cleaned up, it was time to put in a container so I could weigh them. Getting it back onto the scale, this weighed 28 hundredths of a pound and a meat to shell ratio of 21.5%. And the true cost of the meat per pound was $78.70. Now, I did the same thing for the rest of the lobsters, and what I came up with was a table that really compares all of them. Some things I noticed is that the meat to shell ratio actually got better as the lobster got bigger, but another thing I noticed is the price per actual pound of meat varied a little more with the size of the lobster. The meat from the 2.2 pound lobster was $83.60, which is the most expensive, and the meat from the 1.5 pound lobster was $77.62, which made it the best buy. As far as ease of actually opening up the lobsters, I felt the smaller ones were a lot easier, and when I got to the biggest lobster, I had trouble getting this claw open. I couldn't open them with my seafood plier things, and I had to use an oyster knife to get it started, and after a little bit of a battle, I finally got this shell cracked. So let's go ahead now and get started on the taste test. Now this is the lightest lobster, second heaviest, and the heaviest. I'm going to start with just the claw. Let's go ahead and give this one a try. A little salty, but it's still really sweet, flaky. That's really good. Claw from the second smallest. It definitely has less sweetness, and it's more stringy than flaky. It's still really good though. Second to the biggest. Let's find a good. Here's some good chunk of claw here. Kind of fell apart a little bit, but a good chunk of claw. This is the second from the biggest. Even less sweet, even more chewy. I'm starting to think that it may be right that those smaller lobsters are actually better. And here's the claw from the biggest lobster. That's really similar to this one. But again, you can just see it's more like fibrous, not flaky. I'm going to take a bite of this. And go back for the small claw again. The small claw is like so much better. Now, there's also a part of the crab called the knuckle meat. Sweet, tender, really good. Here's some knuckle meat. And here's some of the knuckle meat from the biggest. Honestly, there wasn't a huge difference in knuckle meat. I'd say this one was a little bit sweeter, a little bit more tender, but all of these are pretty good. And I actually like the larger one just because you got a bigger bite of it. Now, everyone's favorite, let's go to the lobster tail. I'm just going to take a bite of the tail. Definitely sweet. Fairly tender. That's really good. Let's go for the next one. I can't tell a difference between these two. Same flavor. Same texture. Both really good. Okay, now we're on to the biggest, or the second biggest one. Clean out some of the stuff off the front. Mm. I can already tell you. It's substantially more chewy. It still tastes really good. That's the thing. The taste is there. It's still sweet, but the texture is definitely different. And last but not least, this is the tail from the largest lobster. Again, the taste of all the lobster tail, in my opinion, was about the same. The real difference is the tenderness. The tenderness definitely goes down as you get bigger in the lobster when you're talking about the tails and the claws. So for me, if I'm being honest with myself, the one that tastes the best out of all of these is going to be the smaller lobster. So combined with the fact they taste the best and they're the best price, you can see under 2 pound lobsters normally are a better effective price per pound for meat. I'd say skip those 2 pound lobsters and buy ones that are around 1.5 pounds because they taste the best and are the most cost effective.